Welcome back. This is the third part of three parts to the opening post of week 2. Interestingly, the 3 posts are not going to add up to more than about 30 minutes, which was the same post as week 1. But there's a lot more text involved in week 2. I must have wandered during week 1. So now I want to come back to the implications to the psychiatric nursing paradigm of relationship as an organizing principle, the ontological implications to the psychiatric nursing meta paradigm of relationship. As an organizing principle. So if I have the ontological commitment that relationship is an organizing principle, this has implications for the nature of that concept, relationship, and implications for the nature of the psychiatric nursing paradigm. Okay, so I've put together some ideas. I've touched upon some elements of Haraway's work important to my argument about the nature of relationship and the psychiatric nursing paradigm. This week, you read the article by Reed. The work of Bender, Haraway, and Reed combined are useful to my understanding of the relationship of psychiatric nursing paradigm. Reed takes the position, or offers us the possibility, really, that nursing is a pan-human activity, that nursing is part of our fundamental nature as human beings. It's part of, it's a characteristic of being human. Nursing refers to processes whereby humans care for themselves and others, processes by which we move toward well-being. Reed doesn't discuss this, but it seems obvious to me that it's not only human beings who engage in nursing. That's a point that might be useful later. The meta-paradigm concept of nursing that Reed's proposing is not a label of a profession. Nursing is a key concept that nurses are concerned with, meaning that nurses are concerned with the processes whereby humans care for themselves and others, processes whereby humans move towards well-being. Reed suggests that the profession use the label nursology, like geography, because nursing is about the studying of nursing processes by and between people. In the case of psychiatric nursing, all humans have processes for moving closer to mental wellness, at least at the potentialities. Psychiatric nursing specializes in understanding the processes that move others and ourselves closer to mental wellness. Now, I am defending the use of the term mental wellness in the face of arguments for holism and about holism. It's true if what I said previously about the ontological implications of relationship, any concept, including wellness, is inextricably linked to all other aspects of wellness, right? The division is contrived. True. Divisions are contrived. However, in our current healthcare system, individuals are diagnosed with mental illness or are seen as mentally unwell, and those labels have huge consequences. And psychiatric nurses, one of our jobs is to understand those consequences. Psychiatric nurses do focus attention on the promotion, recovery, and maintenance of mental wellness within a holistic framework. Psychiatric nurses have a specialized standpoint. Psychiatric nurses have expertise in collaborating in and facilitating processes of wellness, which in mental health might be replaced by the word recovery. You'll notice I'm slipping between the terms well-being and wellness. I've done some research on this, and there is a great deal of slippage between how those two terms get defined and used. And rather than get into that literature, I'm just using the term wellness in the context of mental health, because that's more often how we talk about it. The concept of standpoint is useful for understanding the nursing or the psychiatric nursing meta-paradigm and the concept of nursing. Bender makes the point that the relationship between concepts is more important than static descriptions of the concepts themselves. Relationship as an organizing principle means that the dynamic relationships between the concepts is the focus of concern. Not so much the concepts, but the dynamic relationships between the concepts. Meta-paradigm concepts can be understood as standpoints. If I am a nurse at a given point in time, in a given situation, processes of moving towards well-being, nursing, are important to me as an individual, as well as to the person in the standpoint of the patient at that given point in time. Right? When I interact with the patient, I want to engage their processes of nursing, their families, their communities, professional knowledge about the processes of nursing. As well, I want to attend to my own processes of nursing, my own well-being. Haraway talks about the need to understand the standpoint of others and to explore the web of differential standpoints. I think this describes psychiatric nursing and nursing quite well. This logic of relationship as an organizing principle, or using this logic of relationship as an organizing principle, the meta-paradigm concepts become shifting standpoints. Environment is not just a context for health or illness. The environment itself requires actions to protect its well-being. And many people would say that the environment takes actions to protect its own well-being. In the undergraduate program at BU, we learned about Kethel's concept of eco-centric nursing, where the whole environment has intrinsic value, not just as it relates to the health of humans. One of the beliefs of the DPN about the concept of the environment, the Department of Psychiatric Nursing, is psychiatric nurses and psychiatric nurse educators have responsibilities and obligations towards the care and health of natural and social environments. This can be looked at as putting the environment in the standpoint of the patient, if that makes sense. Which brings me to another DPN belief about the environment. That is, the environment itself can be therapeutic, including human constructed like buildings, social, and natural environments. Mahoney and colleagues, that's 2009, it's in the references for this lecture, resurrects an older concept of the environment as therapeutic in and of itself, specifically the concept of therapeutic milieu. They kind of modernize the concept. They argue at one point that everything is always in relationship with everything, so that the environment affects your neurotransmitters and activation or deactivation of the stress response. We can calm ourselves and contribute to calming in others through changes in the environment. An aside here is that in most First Nation philosophies about health, the environment itself is healing in and of itself. A number of Cree individuals, workers that I spoke with in my master's research, talked about the environment as being healing in and of itself. I asked an elder, how would you help a person that was dealing with hearing distressing voices? And he said, well, I take him out on the land. I also spoke with a younger worker, Cree worker in a Cree community, and he was taking families, parents and their children, out on the land to goose hunting camps in order to help heal those families. They were families who were experiencing a great deal of dysfunction. And being on the land, that interacting with the land would be healing in and of itself. And in Japan, apparently they have this thing called forest bathing, where you just go out and hang out in the trees, and it heals you. That works for me. Okay, coming away from that aside, ontological commitment to relationship as an organizing principle has ontological consequences. I'm just changing something here, sorry. Has ontological implications for the concept of relationship and for the meta paradigm of psychiatric nursing as well. That is, a belief that relationship is an organizing principle has implications for how we understand the nature of relationship and the nature of psychiatric nursing. So final comments, I'll squeeze them in to this last part 3. I'll leave you with a few comments about the readings for the week. Newman et al. Define nursing as the process of caring in the human health experience. Although they don't refer more specifically to nursing, they do actually refer more specifically to nursing as a professional practice. I think you could understand it in the same way as Reed. I'm curious what you think about their exploration of the unitary transformative paradigm, UT, for the concept of relationship. They go into quite a bit of detail. Are there similarities with the ontological implications of relationship that I've suggested? Does this unitary transformative paradigm as described by Newman et al. Resonate with your understandings about psychiatric nursing? Parse and Rogers are two heavy hitters in the UT paradigm. One of the problems with the UT paradigm is they kind of invent language and invent new meanings for words. And so it can be difficult to read, but I hope you can persevere through that. I was excited to find the article about Santangelo, Proctor, and Fawcett because it's a current review of the principles fundamental to psychiatric nursing practice. Principles discussed in their article as fundamental to psychiatric nursing are client-focused, flexible practice, boundaries, meeting, excuse me, client-focused, flexible practice boundaries, meeting clients' needs, and intimate, caring relationship. How do these principles line up with your understanding of psych nursing? Is there something missing? I've been long-winded in presenting my logic of using Bender's perspective on the nursing metaparadigm and in adding Reid's perception of nursing as a pan-human process or processes of well-being, and Haraway's concept of standpoint. I've used all of those in order to develop the ontological claims about relationship and psychiatric nursing paradigm. My purpose was to demonstrate how ideas within the literature can be used to make an ontological argument. You can judge how well I succeeded. The readings from this week deal with the nature of the environment in acute care psychiatry, the nature of psychiatric nursing as a practice, and the suggestion that nursing is actually more about the nature of processes for health than the profession of nursing. Anyways, enjoy the readings. I look forward to your posts. Thanks.